Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Halacha. We have started learning the wonderful Sefer Shearim B'Tefillah, and we are talking about the proper way to get ready for davening. We haven't started talking about actual tefillah yet. And this morning we are going to move into the chapter of the book that deals with hachana, preparing for tefillah. And so I'll read a little bit, translate, make some comments. Yisod hakavana v'zechut halev b'tefillah tiluyim b'hachana shelefaneha. He starts off by saying that the fundamental idea of tefillah, the fundamental ability to have kavanah, to have proper intention, really, and concentration and focus is probably a better word when we daven, is preparation. And this is what the Rambam writes. Ketzadi kavanah, what is focus when we daven? Sheyifneh et libo mikol hamachshavot v'yireh atzmo ki'iluhu omed lefnei hashchina. It's very simple. That we try to remove any outside thoughts and envision ourselves as if we are standing before God. Therefore, the Rambam writes that we have to spend some time before davening. This is the key. Lifnei hatfilah, kodem hatfilah, before davening. And the Shulchan Aruch says the same thing. Yishaheh sha'achat kodem sheyakum litpalel k'dei sheyachavein libo l'makom. We have to spend some amount of time before tefillah. Now, technically speaking, this may be covered by the Psukei de Zimra section of the davening, because that is before technically the tefillah, which is what's being talked about here, the Amidah. But there's a deeper point which the author gets into. He says when we run into shul and we get there, just on time when we're about to start, it's very hard to have the focus that we need. And he says that often our thought is, I'll build up my kavanah as I'm going, as I'm beginning to pray, and when I get to the Amidah, then I will have the focus. He says that really doesn't work. It's really very hard because usually we're rushing to catch up, we're rushing to keep pace. Many of the tefillot that we daven in move at a very fast clip. So what we need to do is we need to spend some time beforehand getting ready and just focusing our thoughts. And like the Rambam said, trying to remove other thoughts from our mind and focusing that we are standing before God. And he quotes the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, Chasidim Harishonim, the early pious ones would spend a full hour, whether it means an actual hour or not. And everyone has to spend the amount of time that they feel is necessary in order to have the proper focus in the tefillah. But the key here, again, is kodem hatfilah. Before we start davening, we have to try to make time. And he paints the picture with someone who comes into shul a little bit later, even just on time, and grabs, quickly puts on his talis and their tefillin, or comes to mincha and quickly wants to get to the Shmona Esrei with the tzibur, with the congregation, which is what we're supposed to do. He says, "Harezeh keneged halacha." That is not. That's against the halacha. We are not going to be able to focus and concentrate then. So the key is, we talked about setting up time and being able to pray slowly. And now here we're even adding a step, which is taking some time beforehand to focus on what we are going to do. That is the first point he makes in Hachana. He makes a number of points until we're ready to get to the first word of the language of Tefillah that he gets to, and we will get there soon. Have a wonderful day, everybody.